Focus on yourself first, because no one else is living your life. You are responsible for your growth, your choices, and your future. Work hard without needing to prove anything to anyone. The results will speak when the time is right, but right now it's about staying consistent and building quietly. Peace comes when you stop chasing attention and start chasing progress. Real growth doesn't need noise. It needs discipline and patience. Today we'll talk about something most people ignore but deeply need. When you focus on yourself and put in the work silently, without needing praise or attention, you build a stronger version of you. Distractions fade and your goals get clearer. It's not about being seen, it's about becoming someone worth seeing. You don't need to announce every step, just take the next one. Small wins behind the scenes lead to big changes that no one can take away. If you're ready to stop seeking validation and start building a better you, then let's dive in. Number 1, block out noise and focus only on your own growth. Most people are drowning in noise, scrolling, watching, talking, comparing, reacting. Every hour of the day, someone is shouting for your attention. News headlines, social media posts, gossip from friends, empty opinions from strangers, they all want a piece of your focus. And if you're not careful, they'll take it. Not because they deserve it, but because you didn't protect it. You get pulled in without realizing. You check your phone first thing in the morning, and before you know it, your mind is already working on someone else's life, someone else's choices, someone else's wins or failures. You haven't even checked in with yourself. And that's the trap, giving away your mental space before you've invested it in yourself. When you're always plugged into the world around you, it becomes harder to hear your own voice. It's hard to think clearly when your head is full of other people's noise. You start comparing. You start questioning your path. You hesitate. You feel behind. You get frustrated. And suddenly, you're not growing. You're just reacting. But growth doesn't come from reacting. It comes from taking real control over where your energy goes. And that means stepping away from distractions, even the ones everyone else says are normal. Because here's the truth, normal won't make you exceptional. Normal won't build you a life that feels fulfilling. And if you keep letting the noise in, you'll spend more time watching others live than living your own. You have to choose growth over gossip, development over distraction. You have to decide that your time and energy are too valuable to be spent keeping up with everything and everyone. Because the truth is, most of what you hear doesn't help you. Most opinions don't matter. Most updates are irrelevant. And most comparisons do more harm than good. When you block out the noise, what you're really doing is creating a space, an intentional space where you can work on what matters to you. It's not about being selfish. It's about being responsible. Responsible for your future. Responsible for your choices. Responsible for what you become. You're not going to grow if you're constantly looking sideways. You grow when you're looking inward. When you start each day asking, what can I improve in myself today? That's where real change begins. That's where confidence builds. Because confidence doesn't come from people praising you. It comes from progress. It comes from knowing deep down that you're doing the work day after day, even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching. Blocking out noise doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop giving away your power. It means you stop letting distractions delay your progress. And it's not easy at first. You'll feel the pull to check what everyone else is doing. You'll feel the itch to respond to opinions that don't even serve you. You'll hear that little voice in your head saying, maybe I'm falling behind. That's normal. But if you can quiet that noise, even just for a while, you'll feel something else start to rise inside you. Clarity, direction, drive. You'll start to see what you really want, not what others want for you. You'll realize how much time you were wasting. You'll become more intentional with your hours, your days, your energy. And that's when growth starts to speed up. That's when change becomes real, because now you're working from a place of focus, not frenzy. Think about it like this. Imagine your attention as a spotlight. Wherever you point it, that area gets lit up. But if your spotlight is jumping all over the place, this person's post, that person's win, this headline, that opinion, you're not really shining light on anything. But when you fix your spotlight on yourself, your goals, your habits, your mindset, things start to grow. Things start to improve. Not overnight, but steadily, quietly, powerfully. You don't need to explain yourself to people who aren't on the same path. You don't need to respond to every comment. You don't need to prove anything to anyone who doesn't understand your vision. Just focus. Focus on becoming more disciplined. Focus on learning more about yourself. Focus on becoming stronger, mentally and emotionally. That kind of growth? It doesn't need an audience. It just needs your commitment. And yes, there will be times when it feels boring, times when it feels lonely, times when no one notices what you're doing. But those are the moments that matter most, because those are the moments that shape your character. Those are the moments where you decide, quietly, firmly, that you're in this for the long run, that you're not chasing approval. You're building a life. You're not seeking applause. You're building yourself. One of the most valuable things you can do is protect your peace. Not every opinion needs to be heard. Not every trend needs to be followed. Not every update needs to be seen. Block it out. Not out of anger, but out of wisdom. Protect your mind like it's your most precious asset, because it is. Every great achievement starts in the mind. Every major breakthrough is born from mental clarity. But you don't get clarity when you're constantly consuming noise. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters without distraction, without interruption, without explaining yourself every step of the way. That kind of focus? That's rare, but it's what separates those who make steady, lasting progress from those who burn out chasing everything. Remember this, you only get one life, one chance to build something meaningful. Don't waste it trying to keep up with noise that won't matter a year from now. Use your time to work on you, to strengthen your mind, to sharpen your skills, to build your future. That's not selfish. That's smart. And when you do that consistently, day after day, you won't need to say much. Your growth will speak for itself. And the beautiful thing is, when you focus on yourself and grow quietly, people will notice. Not because you told them, but because the results will show. The way you carry yourself, the way you think, the way you respond. That kind of growth can't be faked. It's built through real work, silent work, focused work. And it all starts with the decision to block out the noise and turn inward. To stop watching others and start working on yourself. To stop reacting and start becoming. It's not flashy, but it's real, and it works every time. Number 2, work hard quietly while others waste energy on noise. Every day, people are wasting time trying to look successful instead of becoming successful. They're posting, bragging, showing off, arguing online, trying to prove something to the world. And yet, deep down, they're still stuck in the same place they were a year ago. Because noise doesn't build anything. Noise doesn't create progress. And pretending doesn't move you forward. The truth is, most of what people do for attention is empty. They want to be seen more than they want to be skilled. They want to be praised more than they want to be prepared. And they want results without the sacrifice. If you're serious about building something for yourself, something real, you can't live like that. You can't afford to spend your days chasing recognition instead of chasing results. You have to learn how to work when no one claps, how to keep going when no one comments, how to stay focused when everyone else is distracted by the spotlight. Because the spotlight never lasts. What lasts is the work you put in when no one is looking. What lasts is what you build when you're not trying to impress anyone. People today waste too much energy trying to look like they're grinding instead of actually grinding. They take breaks they didn't earn. They celebrate wins they haven't achieved. They talk more than they do. And you'll notice those are the same people always stressed, always stuck, always chasing the next thing to make themselves feel important. But when you're really doing the work, you don't need constant recognition. You don't need noise. You need focus. You need time. You need consistency. Working quietly isn't about hiding. It's about building something solid without wasting time explaining every move. You don't have to share every step you take. You don't have to tell the world what you're planning. Just execute. The world doesn't need a preview. The world needs proof. And proof only comes from results. Real work. Quiet work. Daily work. The kind of work that no one else sees, but you feel it. In your mind. In your habits. In your energy. That's where change really happens. If you're always looking around to see who's watching, your attention isn't on the task. And if your attention isn't on the task, you're not growing. It's simple. The people who rise to the top are the ones who outwork, outlast, and outfocus the rest. They don't need to announce every hour they're putting in. They just keep showing up, day after day. When it's boring, when it's hard, when it's lonely, that's what separates the real from the loud. And here's something people don't talk about enough. When you're working hard in silence, you're not distracted by competition. You're not worried about what others are doing. You're focused on improving yourself. You're able to think clearly. You move with purpose. You make better decisions. That's how you gain real power. Not from having followers, but from having discipline. Not from being seen, but from being consistent. Because consistency beats noise every time. The people who make the most noise often burn out the fastest. They've put so much effort into being noticed that they run out of energy to keep building. But if you're quiet, if you keep your head down and do the work, you build momentum that doesn't rely on approval. You're not chasing likes. You're building strength. You're not feeding ego. You're fueling growth. You also protect your peace when you work in silence. You don't invite unnecessary judgment. You don't get distracted by praise or criticism. You stay grounded, and that allows you to grow in a way that's solid. You don't need people to validate every decision you make. You trust your process. You trust your work ethic. You trust your ability to figure things out along the way. It's easy to talk about goals. It's easy to share dreams. But most people never follow through. They get high off the attention of announcing things, then disappear when it's time to put in the work. You're better than that. You don't need to announce. You don't need to perform. You just need to commit, quietly, deeply, fully. And when you make that kind of commitment, when you decide to give everything to your vision without waiting for applause, that's when things start to shift. Working in silence gives you space to grow without pressure. You're not performing for anyone. You're not trying to match someone else's timeline. You're doing it your way, in your own time. And that space is powerful. That space is where your identity gets stronger. That's where your mindset gets sharper. That's where your habits become unshakable. You don't get that when you're trying to keep up with the noise. You only get that through intentional, quiet, steady effort. You'll know you're on the right track when your work speaks louder than your words. When people start noticing your results, not your posts. When people start asking how you did it, not why you've been quiet. That's when you know the silent work paid off. But you don't work for the praise. You work because it's who you are now. Because you've built a rhythm. Because the hard work changed you. And once it changes you, no one can take that from you. Not opinions, not noise, not setbacks, because you've trained yourself to rely on effort, not excitement, on discipline, not drama, on purpose, not popularity. That's what gives you real control over your life. Stop wasting energy on people who talk a lot but do very little. Stop getting caught up in arguments, opinions, distractions. That's all just noise. Focus your energy where it matters on what you're building. Every hour you spend quietly improving yourself is a deposit into your future. Every time you say no to noise, you say yes to your growth, and that matters. Don't underestimate the power of quiet work. The world might not see it now, but they'll feel the impact later. You don't need a spotlight when you're building something that lasts. You don't need an audience to do the work that changes your life. You just need to keep going. Keep refining. Keep strengthening. Even when no one sees. Even when no one cares. Because eventually the work shows. The growth shows. The results show. And they'll be undeniable. Number 3, build unstoppable habits that fuel your daily progress. There's a reason most people stay stuck. It's not because they don't have goals. Everyone has goals. Everyone says they want to be better, richer, healthier, stronger. The problem is, most people wait for motivation to strike before they move. They're always waiting for the right mood, the right time, the perfect conditions. And while they're waiting, time keeps moving. The world doesn't stop. Life keeps happening. But nothing changes for them. Because without habits daily, repeatable actions goals are just wishes. Habits are what make progress real. Habits are the quiet drivers of every transformation. You don't become disciplined overnight. You don't just wake up one day with a bulletproof mindset. You build it slowly, repeatedly, consistently, through actions you repeat even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it, because that's the moment your brain is watching. That's the moment your character is being built. When it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when no one would blame you for quitting and you do it anyway. Progress is never the result of random bursts of motivation. It's the outcome of clear, simple habits you've wired into your life like second nature. You show up because it's who you are now, not because it's fun every day. You don't ask yourself if you're in the mood. You already decided the night before. This is what I do. This is how I operate. This is non-negotiable. And that's the mindset that moves you forward. Think about it. If every day you train yourself to do even one hard thing, one uncomfortable task, read that book, finish that workout, skip that distraction, you begin reshaping your mind. You start building self-respect. And self-respect is what fuels confidence. Not empty affirmations, but actual evidence from your actions. Your habits become proof that you can trust yourself. And that changes everything. Because now, when life throws you off course, you don't break. You reset, you bounce back. Because those habits are holding you together when the pressure hits. Most people try to change their life with big moves. They start extreme routines, make loud declarations, or wait for a new year to flip a switch. But the truth is, real change is built in the quiet moments. When you decide to show up again. When you decide to keep a promise you made to yourself. Not because anyone's watching, but because you said you would. That's how winners are made. They don't wait to feel good. They train themselves to follow through. And you don't need to do everything at once. That's where most people burn out. They try to build 10 new habits in a week and fail by Friday. But that's not how this works. You start with one. One habit that aligns with your goal. One habit that challenges you a little. You master that. Then you build another. And another. That's how momentum is built layer by layer. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing repeatedly. You need to design your days around who you want to become. That starts the moment you wake up. What's the first thing you do? Is it intentional? Is it helping you grow? Or is it just a repeat of yesterday's comfort? Because the way you begin your day tells your mind what's important. If you start in reaction, scrolling, rushing, avoiding, you're already playing catch-up. But if you start with something purposeful, even small, your whole mindset shifts. That's the power of habit. It sets the tone, it builds rhythm, and over time it shapes identity. Here's what you need to understand. Every day you either reinforce your strength or your weakness. Every choice is a vote. Every action is a brick. You're either building your future or you're delaying it. There's no in between. And when you see it that clearly, you start taking yourself more seriously. You stop wasting time. You stop waiting for inspiration. You realize this is on you, not your boss, not your family, not your circumstances. You. There's also something powerful that happens when you commit to habits. You start to quiet your mind. You're no longer stuck in mental arguments with yourself. Should I work out today? Should I study? Should I wake up early? You already know the answer, because it's been decided. That's the beauty of a real habit. It frees your mind. It removes resistance. You don't waste energy deciding. You just do. And that energy, you can use it to grow, to improve, to move forward. You can't fake habits. You either have them or you don't. But the good news is, you can always build them. No matter where you're starting, you don't need to be gifted. You don't need special circumstances. You need a decision. And you need to back that decision with action every single day, especially on the hard days, because those are the days that strengthen the muscle, the day you don't want to show up, but you do anyway. That's the day you get stronger. That's the day you earn the growth. The people who win long-term are the ones who mastered the basics. They didn't chase hacks. They didn't look for shortcuts. They committed to habits that supported their mission: sleep, nutrition, movement, learning, discipline. They made those things non-negotiable, and over time it paid off, not just in what they achieved, but in who they became. That's what you're really doing here. You're not just checking off a list. You're transforming. You're becoming someone who shows up differently, thinks differently, moves differently, because you've built the structure to support the life you want. That structure is your habits. And once you build them, they carry you through every season, through setbacks, through stress, through uncertainty. That's real power. You don't need to talk about your habits. You just need to live them quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And one day people will ask how you got so disciplined. They'll wonder how you made it look so easy. But they won't see the daily effort. They won't see the repetition. They won't see the inner battles you had to win. And that's fine, because you'll know exactly what it took. And that will mean more than any applause. This is your foundation. Your habits are the base of everything you want to build. They decide how you think, how you act, how you respond. So take them seriously, build them with care, and protect them like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Number 4, let your success be the loudest statement you make. Most people spend too much time trying to be seen instead of becoming someone worth noticing. You see it everywhere. People announcing plans they never follow through on, exaggerating small wins, or trying to appear successful before they've put in the work to actually earn it. But when you understand the value of real growth, you stop trying to prove anything to others. You stop chasing approval. You don't need to talk about your journey, because eventually your results will speak for you. And when they do, they'll say more than your words ever could. The truth is, success doesn't require a loud introduction. It's the outcome of what you've built behind the scenes. When your foundation is strong, when your habits are in place, when your focus is sharp, success follows naturally. And when it arrives, it speaks louder than any post, any update, any conversation. It shows up in your life, your mindset, your choices. Not in what you say, but in how you move, how you think, and what you've created. It's easy to want recognition. It's normal to want people to notice how hard you're working. But here's the hard truth. Most people don't care until they see results. And that's not something to be bitter about. It's something to use as fuel. Don't waste time trying to convince people that you're serious. Show them. Don't try to explain why you've changed. Let your discipline show it. Let your transformation be undeniable. Because the people who matter will notice, and the ones who don't were never going to believe you anyway. When you keep your head down and focus on building, you don't need to argue with anyone. You don't need to prove you're on the right path. Time always reveals truth, and your results will do the talking louder and clearer than anything you could say. That's the quiet power of showing up every day and doing the work without needing applause. A lot of people burn themselves out trying to maintain an image. But an image isn't success. A title isn't success. Followers, likes, views, they don't equal progress. They don't mean you've grown. They just mean people are watching. But what are they watching? Is it real? Or is it curated for attention? Because real success doesn't need to be broadcasted. It's felt. It's recognized, not promoted. Let your discipline show in your actions. Let your consistency build your reputation. Let your growth speak through your results. If you spend all your energy telling people you're making moves, you've got less energy to actually make them. That's the difference between people who talk about their goals and people who actually hit them. And there's a deeper level to this. When you focus on real results instead of recognition, you grow faster. Why? Because you're not distracted. You're not emotionally attached to how others perceive your progress. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to become someone. That shift in focus is powerful. It moves you from shallow motivation to deep commitment. When you live that way, when you're locked into progress and not popularity, you begin to understand what it really means to win. It's not about noise. It's about effectiveness. It's about waking up and knowing you're better than yesterday, whether anyone sees it or not. That quiet confidence, that's what separates the ones who actually level up from the ones who just talk about it. There's another thing to understand. Real success is built in silence because that's where you make the toughest decisions. That's where you break bad habits. That's where you face doubt, fear, insecurity. That's where you grow. And you don't need to broadcast those battles. You need to win them. You don't need to convince others you're improving. You need to prove it to yourself. Your work ethic should be louder than your words. Your growth should be visible without explanation. When you walk into a room, your presence should reflect your discipline. Your confidence should come from what you've earned, not from what you've posted. That kind of success is unshakable because it wasn't built on external praise. It was built on internal change. Let people talk. Let them guess what you're doing. Let them wonder where you've been. You don't owe updates. You owe yourself progress. And when your progress shows up, when you finally break through, it'll be clear who was working and who was watching. That's the kind of win that doesn't need a microphone. It speaks on its own. You won't need to explain your results. People will feel the difference in how you speak, how you act, how you handle setbacks. You'll carry yourself with certainty, not arrogance, because you know what it took to get here. And that knowledge, that earned confidence, can't be faked. Let the world be surprised by your growth. Let your life become a quiet testimony to the power of dedication. While others were busy chasing approval, you were busy building. And now the gap is clear. Not because you said anything, but because you built something that couldn't be ignored. And here's the beauty of this mindset. It keeps you focused on what actually matters. You stop wasting time on empty conversations. You stop looking for permission. You stop needing validation. You're not here to be liked. You're here to build. And what you build will outlast every opinion, every doubt, every criticism. You'll know you've made the shift when success starts to feel internal, not external. You'll stop needing people to clap for you. You'll clap for yourself. You'll see the progress in your habits, your mindset, your life, and that'll be enough. And ironically, that's when others start noticing. That's when your silence becomes louder than any speech. Because the work speaks, the progress speaks, and that voice is powerful. Never forget, real success doesn't need a spotlight. It creates its own. Not through noise, but through undeniable progress. Not through attention, but through impact. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You need to be consistent. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be focused. That's where the real wins come from. And when they arrive, they don't just change your life. They change how others see you, without you saying a word. Number 5, prioritize your growth. Ignore opinions that don't matter. There's a painful truth people avoid. Most opinions are distractions. And yet that's what too many people are chasing: approval, acceptance, applause. They move through life, letting the thoughts of others shape their decisions. But here's the reality. If you give too much weight to what others think, you'll never grow into who you're meant to be. You'll stay stuck trying to fit into someone else's idea of what your life should look like. And that's not living. That's performing. That's fear wrapped in politeness. That's wasted potential. Everyone's got something to say. Friends, family, co-workers, strangers, online opinions come from everywhere. Most of them are unasked for. Many of them come from people who've never done what you're trying to do. And yet, if you're not careful, their voices get loud in your mind. They make you doubt your instincts. They make you question your pace. They make you hesitate. But growth doesn't happen in hesitation. Growth needs clarity, not noise. It needs focus, not fear. You have to understand something that most people never do. Your growth is your responsibility. It's your job to protect it. Not everyone will support it. Not everyone will understand it. And that's okay. It's not their job to. Some people won't get why you're changing. They'll call you distant. They'll say you're acting different. But they won't see the work you're doing on yourself. And they don't need to, because the deeper the growth, the quieter it often is. You don't need to explain yourself to people who are comfortable staying the same. When you start focusing on your growth, you're going to have to make uncomfortable decisions. You'll have to say no more often. You'll have to choose solitude over noise. You'll have to disappoint people who expect you to stay predictable. And that's part of the process. Growth is not convenient. It demands space. It demands energy. It demands that you stop living according to what's easy and start living according to what's right for you. And sometimes that means walking away from environments that no longer serve you. It means stepping out of circles that only reinforce the old version of you. That can be painful. People might not understand. They might take it personally. But your job is not to carry everyone's comfort. Your job is to grow. Your future depends on it. And if you trade your growth for temporary approval, you lose every time. You also have to remember most people are projecting. When someone criticizes your progress, your dreams, your ambition, it often has more to do with their limitations than your potential. They're not attacking you. They're protecting their comfort, because your growth reminds them of their own lack of movement. And that's not your problem. Don't shrink just to make others feel better. Don't dim your light because someone else is afraid of their own shadow. You've got to develop the ability to separate useful feedback from background noise. Feedback from someone who's been where you're going? That's valuable. That's rare. But comments from people who don't live with your ambition, your vision, your goals, that's not advice. That's interference. And your mind can't afford to hold both. So choose wisely. Guard your mental space like it matters, because it does. The more you grow, the more you'll see this truth. Peace comes when you stop needing people to understand your journey. You don't need validation to take action. You don't need approval to make progress. You just need a decision, a real one. One that says, I'm doing this for me. I'm building a life that aligns with who I want to be. That kind of mindset is rare, but it's the only one that leads to freedom. You've got to be able to wake up in the morning and ask yourself, am I becoming stronger? Not, did everyone like what I did yesterday? That shift changes everything. Now you're measuring progress by your own standards. Now you're competing with yesterday's version of yourself. That's a game you can win. That's a game that builds you up instead of breaking you down. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be liked. It's human. But when that desire controls your actions, you stop living for yourself. You start editing your life to please people who aren't even paying attention. That's a dangerous trap, and it's one you break by choosing growth over popularity, depth over appearance, substance over surface. Not everyone will clap when you change. Some people liked you better when you were unsure of yourself, when you didn't set boundaries, when you stayed small, when you played safe. But that version of you wasn't built to last. That version was surviving, not thriving. Growth demands that you outgrow the roles you once played. It demands that you become more, not for anyone else, but because you know you can't stay the same. You will lose some relationships. You will face criticism. You will feel misunderstood. But you will also gain clarity. You will feel stronger. You will walk lighter. And the people who are meant to be part of your journey will rise with you, not resist you. They won't need you to prove anything. They'll respect the path you're on, even if they don't fully understand it. You owe it to yourself to find out how far you can go. But that journey starts with one important choice: to stop letting irrelevant opinions slow you down. You are not here to meet anyone's expectations but your own. You are not here to fit into a box that doesn't match your purpose. You are here to grow. And growth, real growth, is loud in results and quiet in approval. Give yourself permission to focus on your development without having to justify every move. You don't need to explain your routines, your boundaries, your shifts in direction. If it's building you, it's worth protecting. You're not being selfish by prioritizing your growth. You're being responsible for your time, for your energy, for your future. There's freedom on the other side of not caring what doesn't matter. There's clarity when you remove opinions that aren't grounded in truth or experience. There's power when you decide that your life is worth designing on your own terms. That's what prioritizing your growth really means: living fully, without apology, and becoming who you were always meant to be. Number 6. Stay relentless even when results haven't shown yet. It's a hard reality that most people face, putting in the work day after day without seeing anything change. The truth is, a lot of people quit right before their breakthrough because results don't come quickly. They expect instant success, instant recognition, instant reward, and when it doesn't happen, they get discouraged and give up. But the biggest difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. It's the ability to keep pushing when nothing seems to be happening. When you're grinding in silence, it's easy to feel invisible. You work, you sweat, you sacrifice, but it feels like the world isn't watching. That can be crushing. It's natural to wonder if you're wasting your time. It's normal to feel tired and question whether all this effort will ever pay off. This is where most people fail. They lose faith because results haven't arrived yet. But relentless people understand that results are a lagging indicator. They come after the work, not before it. Relentlessness means continuing to take action even when you don't see progress. It means showing up when motivation is low and distractions are high. It means working in the quiet hours, the hours when nobody's cheering. It means keeping your eye on the bigger picture, knowing the path to success is rarely straight or easy. If you can develop that mindset, you're already ahead of most. There's a strong emotional battle in these moments. Doubt whispers, "Why keep going?" Fear tries to pull you back to comfort and safety. But relentless people answer with commitment. They refuse to be stopped by discomfort or impatience. They choose to trust the process, even when it feels like they're running in place. That's what separates winners from quitters. Results are often delayed because growth is a process, not an event. Skills take time to develop. Connections take time to build. Opportunities take time to surface. When you understand this, you stop expecting immediate payoff. Instead, you invest in the process consistently, daily, no matter what. That's the only way to make lasting change. Every step forward builds momentum, even if it's invisible at first. You have to be willing to do the hard work without applause, to embrace the struggle without complaint, to put in the hours when you feel unseen and unheard, because those hours matter more than you realize. They're the foundation for the breakthrough that's coming. Every extra effort, every extra push, every day you don't quit adds up in ways you can't yet measure. Relentlessness also means adapting but never giving up. It's not about stubbornness or blindly repeating the same action, hoping for a different result. It's about being flexible, learning, adjusting your approach, but never abandoning your goal. The road to success is full of obstacles and detours. Relentless people find ways around, through, or over them. They don't stop walking just because the path gets rough. Another key to staying relentless is remembering why you started. When results are absent, motivation can fade fast. That's why your purpose has to be bigger than temporary feelings. Your reason for grinding must be so strong it pulls you forward when everything else pushes you back. A clear why anchors your effort. It reminds you that the work isn't just for today, it's for the future you're building. You'll also have to develop patience, but not the passive kind. This is active patience, working hard while waiting for results, knowing that your actions are setting the stage for what's coming. It's a steady focus on doing the next right thing every day. Patience combined with relentless effort creates an unstoppable force. Keep in mind, nobody's story is smooth. Every person who's achieved something meaningful has gone through seasons of doubt, frustration, and waiting. If you think success will happen without these challenges, you're not ready for the journey. Relentlessness means embracing the uncomfortable reality that progress is often slow, invisible, and uneven. It means refusing to let temporary setbacks become permanent stops. The people who reach their goals are often the ones who looked like they weren't going anywhere for a long time. They kept putting in the work. They stayed consistent. They kept believing. They stayed relentless even when it felt pointless. And eventually, their effort transformed into results that made their previous struggle look like a distant memory. It helps to develop rituals and habits that support this relentless mindset. When your discipline is automatic, it carries you through days when your energy is low. Habits create momentum. They turn effort into routine, and routines create the structure needed to maintain relentless action over the long haul. You must protect your focus too. There will always be distractions, people telling you to slow down, to take it easy, or that your efforts aren't worth it. There will be temptations to give up or settle for less. Staying relentless means cutting through these distractions. It means guarding your time and energy fiercely. Your goal deserves that kind of protection. Don't expect applause or recognition while you're in the trenches. Celebrate small wins quietly. Acknowledge progress without needing others to see it. That internal validation is more powerful than any external praise because it keeps you going when no one else is watching. This relentless approach is not easy. It's exhausting. It's lonely at times. But it's also the path that creates strength, character, and true success. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is who keeps going when the easy option is to quit. If you develop this habit of relentless effort, you'll eventually build a momentum that carries you forward. Suddenly, the results will begin to catch up with the work. The progress will become visible, the breakthrough will come, and it will be powerful because it was earned with persistence, grit, and patience. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need instant results. You only need to be relentless. Put one foot in front of the other. Do the work. Keep your focus on your goal. Trust the process even when it's slow. That kind of consistency builds unstoppable momentum. And momentum creates the life you're working for, even when you can't see it yet. Relentlessness is a choice you make every single day. It's deciding that you won't let discouragement define your journey, that you won't let a lack of immediate results break your spirit, that you will keep going because your future depends on it. Keep pushing, keep growing, keep working. The results will come. Number 7. Use silence to sharpen your focus and mental power. Most people underestimate how much silence impacts their ability to think clearly and stay focused. The world around us is noisy, constantly pulling attention in every direction with sounds, messages, distractions, and demands. When noise surrounds you, your mind mirrors that chaos. It becomes difficult to concentrate, to process ideas, or to connect deeply with your goals. Noise scatters your thoughts like leaves in the wind, making it nearly impossible to build the mental strength necessary for lasting success. The harsh truth is, many people never experience real silence. Their days are filled with distractions that drain energy and blur priorities. Social media, notifications, conversations, and even internal chatter flood their minds with noise. This overload leaves them tired, scattered, and unable to focus on what truly matters. Without silence, the mind is fragmented, and energy is wasted on trivial distractions instead of growth. Silence, when embraced intentionally, is powerful. It's the quiet space where your brain can reset and sharpen. In silence, your thoughts become clearer. You can tune out the unnecessary and zero in on the essential. This clarity is the foundation for making better decisions, setting stronger goals, and fueling motivation. Silence acts like a mental sharpening stone, honing your focus so your mind works with precision and strength. The challenge is that silence doesn't come naturally in today's world. It has to be deliberately sought and protected. It's not just about the absence of noise around you, but also calming the noise inside you, the endless stream of worries, doubts, and distractions that compete for attention. Silence, in this sense, becomes a mental discipline, a practice of turning off the chatter and tuning in to what matters most. When you create moments of silence regularly, you're building mental power. You give your brain the chance to rest and recharge. This renewal improves concentration, creativity, and emotional control. Silence allows you to reflect deeply on your progress, your setbacks, and your next steps. It gives space for insight and learning that noisy environments rarely allow. There's also a physical benefit to silence. Stress hormones reduce when you step away from constant noise. Your body relaxes, your heart rate slows, and your mind becomes more resilient. This physiological change supports mental endurance, which is critical when working hard towards challenging goals. Without mental endurance, it's easy to burn out or lose motivation. Silence is a tool for focus because it reduces cognitive overload. When your mind isn't constantly processing distractions, it can focus on what's important with intensity. This kind of focus leads to better quality work and faster progress. It sharpens your ability to solve problems and makes it easier to stick to your plan. Using silence effectively means designing your environment to support it. Turn off unnecessary devices, create a space free of interruptions, and schedule regular breaks away from noise. These aren't luxuries, they're essentials for anyone serious about growth. Protecting silence is protecting your ability to think clearly and act decisively. The hardest part about using silence is that it requires discipline and discomfort. At first, it feels strange or even uncomfortable to be alone with your thoughts without distractions. That discomfort is part of the growth process. It pushes you to confront what's inside your fears, doubts, and true desires. Facing those internal noises is necessary for building mental strength. Silence also sharpens your awareness. When you're quiet, you become more attuned to subtle feelings and insights that get drowned out by noise. This awareness can guide your actions and decisions, helping you avoid mistakes and spot opportunities earlier. It helps you listen more carefully to yourself and others, which is essential for effective leadership and personal growth. Many successful people attribute part of their progress to time spent in silence. Whether it's early mornings before the world wakes up, moments of solitude during the day, or periods of reflection in nature, these silent moments recharge and prepare them to perform at their best. Silence becomes their secret weapon to stay sharp, calm, and focused amidst chaos. Don't confuse silence with inactivity. Silence is an active process of calming your mind and directing your attention. It's the quiet work done inside your brain that fuels the visible results. This internal work may not look impressive to others, but it's the foundation for all progress. Without it, you're reacting to the world instead of shaping it. Using silence also improves emotional resilience. When the mind is noisy, emotions can run wild, making it easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. Silence gives space to process emotions calmly. This emotional control allows you to keep working hard without being knocked off course by frustration or fear. Learning to be comfortable in silence requires practice. Start by carving out small moments in your day without distractions, 5 or 10 minutes where you simply sit quietly and focus on your breathing or your goals. Gradually extend these moments as your comfort grows. This simple habit builds a mental muscle that strengthens focus over time. Silence helps you protect your energy. When you're constantly reacting to noise and demands, energy leaks everywhere. With silence, energy is conserved and directed towards meaningful work. You become less reactive and more proactive. You choose where to put your attention rather than being pulled in every direction. Another benefit of silence is it cultivates patience. In silence, you learn to tolerate the space between effort and results. It teaches you that progress often requires waiting and that good things take time. This patience is a key ingredient in sustained effort and long-term achievement. Silence also enhances your ability to listen deeply. When you reduce external noise, your hearing sharpens, not just physically, but in how you understand others. Listening is crucial for building relationships, learning new ideas, and making better decisions. Silence trains you to listen more carefully and respond more thoughtfully. In a world that values noise and speed, choosing silence is a form of strength and control. It's a statement that you value quality over quantity, depth over distraction. It's a commitment to your own growth that doesn't rely on constant stimulation or approval. Silence empowers you to work with focus and clarity. The next time you feel overwhelmed or distracted, seek silence. Step away from the noise, even if just for a moment. Notice how it clears your mind and sharpens your thinking. Build silence into your routine so your mental power grows steadily. This focus will help you work harder, smarter, and more effectively in the long run. Silence is not emptiness. It's the fertile ground where your best ideas, your deepest understanding, and your strongest motivation take root. It's where your mind resets and prepares to meet challenges with clarity. Use silence intentionally. protect it fiercely, and watch how it transforms your ability to focus and work hard in silence itself. Number 8. Protect your goals by keeping them away from distractions. There's a simple fact most people don't realize until it's too late. Your goals are fragile. They aren't some solid thing you can just set and forget. Every day, your ambitions face an invisible enemy: distractions. These distractions aren't just random, they sneak in quietly and slowly chip away at your progress. It's not about one big interruption, but the constant drip of little diversions that steal your time, energy, and focus. Without protection, your goals become nothing more than wishes lost in noise and chaos. Distractions are everywhere. From the moment you wake up, your phone buzzes, your email fills up, social media calls your name, and people's opinions crowd your mind. Each of these pulls you away from what's important. It's easy to convince yourself that checking one notification or responding to one message won't hurt. But over time, those moments add up. They fragment your attention and reduce the time you actually spend working toward your goals. Protecting your goals means creating boundaries that keep distractions out. The first step to protecting your goals is recognizing what those distractions are. Often it's not just external noise, but internal chatter thoughts about fear, doubt, and uncertainty that pull you off course. These internal distractions are as dangerous as anything outside. They fill your mind with what-ifs and excuses, convincing you that the easier path is better. To guard your goals, you need to be ruthless in identifying these distractions and cutting them off before they take hold. Your environment plays a huge role in how easily distractions creep in. If your workspace is cluttered, noisy, or chaotic, your mind will match it. Physical clutter creates mental clutter. Protecting your goals means designing a space that encourages focus and minimizes interruptions. Turn off devices when you need to work, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and create a routine that signals your brain it's time to focus. The environment you create is a first line of defense for your goals. Distractions also come disguised as urgent tasks or social obligations that don't serve your growth. It's tempting to say yes to everything and everyone because it feels like being busy is the same as being productive. But busyness is often the enemy of progress. To protect your goals, you must learn to say no without guilt. Prioritize your time like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. Saying no to distractions is saying yes to your future. Social media deserves a special mention here. It's designed to grab your attention and keep you scrolling for hours. It's a distraction disguised as connection and entertainment. Every minute spent scrolling is time taken away from working on your goals. Protecting your goals means setting strict limits on your social media use. Use it intentionally, not mindlessly. You decide when and how long you engage. This discipline builds respect for your time and keeps distractions at bay. One of the biggest challenges with distractions is the temptation of instant gratification. Your brain craves quick rewards, a funny video, a like, a notification. But progress on meaningful goals rarely comes quickly or easily. It requires patience, persistence, and focus over time. Protecting your goals means resisting the urge for short-term pleasures that pull you away from long-term success. It's about choosing what matters most, even when it's uncomfortable. Accountability is another powerful tool to guard your goals. Share your objectives only with people who support you and respect your journey. Avoid those who doubt, criticize, or distract you. These voices add noise and can shake your confidence. When you protect your goals, you protect your mental space from negativity and distraction. Choose your circle carefully. Let your goals live in a safe, supportive environment. Technology can be a blessing and a curse. While it offers tools to help you stay organized and productive, it also offers endless distractions. Using technology wisely means employing apps or systems that help you track progress, set reminders, and block distractions. But more importantly, it means being disciplined enough to turn off notifications and focus on one task at a time. Multitasking is a myth when it comes to real progress. Protect your goals by mastering how you use technology, not letting it control you. Distractions also come from within your own habits. Procrastination, wandering thoughts, and lack of discipline are self-generated interruptions. Protecting your goals means building habits that support focus and consistency. This might mean setting specific work hours, breaking tasks into small steps, or using time blocks dedicated solely to goal work. These habits create a structure that limits opportunities for distractions to take over. Your energy levels also affect how vulnerable you are to distractions. When you're tired, hungry, or stressed, your ability to resist distractions drops. Protect your goals by taking care of your physical and emotional health. Regular sleep, good nutrition, exercise, and stress management aren't luxuries, they're essential tools for maintaining focus and warding off distraction. Without energy, your best intentions falter. The mind tends to wander when faced with repetitive or challenging work. Distractions often come as a way to escape discomfort. Protecting your goals means learning how to stay present and push through difficulty without giving in to the urge to switch tasks. Mindfulness practices or simple breathing exercises can train your mind to stay on course even when distractions whisper to you. It's also important to review your goals regularly to keep them vivid and real. When your goals become blurry or distant, distractions gain power. Keeping your goals visible, whether on paper, in a journal, or mentally, reinforces their importance. This clarity makes it easier to spot when distractions are pulling you away and reminds you why you're working hard in the first place. Recognize that protecting your goals is an ongoing process. New distractions will appear. Your mind will try to drift. External circumstances will test your boundaries. This is normal. The difference is in how you respond. Discipline and awareness are your best defenses. You won't eliminate distractions completely, but you can learn to manage them so they don't destroy your progress. Some distractions come from people who don't understand your vision or don't support your journey. Protecting your goals might mean limiting time with these individuals. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. Protect your mental and emotional space by choosing carefully where you invest your time and attention. Focus isn't about eliminating all other interests or relationships, but about protecting what fuels your progress. Think of your goals as fragile plants that need constant care. Without protection from distractions, they wither and die. With careful attention and defense, they grow strong and healthy. Every step taken to shield your goals from distraction is a step toward achieving them. It's not glamorous or exciting. It's about saying no, turning off, and stepping away from the noise. This protective effort may feel invisible and unrewarding at times, but it's the foundation for any real achievement. Progress comes to those who treat their goals like treasures, precious and worth defending fiercely. If your goals are important to you, protect them as if your future depends on it, because it does. Don't let distractions steal your dreams. Keep them locked away from noise and chaos so you can give them your full energy and attention. That is how you turn your silent work into unstoppable success. Number 9. Take action consistently instead of seeking constant validation. Most people face the same invisible trap, waiting for someone to tell them they're doing a good job before they keep going. It's like a constant craving for approval, a need to hear that what they're doing matters before they put in the next bit of work. This craving can slow down or even stop progress entirely. The reality is that success doesn't come from applause or approval. It comes from action done day in and day out, whether anyone notices or not. Waiting for validation steals your time and steals your power. What you really need is to act consistently, even when nobody is watching and even when no one is applauding. That's where the real work happens. Seeking constant validation is a way of doubting yourself. It's a sign that you're relying on others to feel confident instead of building that confidence from within. This makes your progress fragile. When approval doesn't come, motivation drops. When people don't praise your efforts, your energy fades. This is a dangerous cycle that keeps you stuck. The truth is, the only person whose approval truly matters is your own. The commitment to consistent action comes from believing in your own vision and trusting your own efforts, not waiting for others to confirm it. Every successful person has faced moments when they had no one cheering them on, when the work was invisible, when the progress seemed too small for anyone else to notice. Yet they kept going. What set them apart was their decision to keep moving forward without needing applause. They understood that the real reward comes from progress itself, not from external recognition. You need to adopt this mindset. Build a habit of moving forward every day, no matter how small the step or how quiet the progress seems. Consistency is like building muscle. You don't see big changes overnight, but every rep counts. The body gets stronger through repeated effort. The same is true for your goals. Every action, no matter how small, compounds over time. If you focus only on getting approval, you will stop after 1 or 2 reps. But if you focus on just showing up and doing the work, you develop strength and momentum that no outside voice can take away. When you chase validation, you might start changing your actions to please others instead of focusing on what's truly important for your growth. This makes your progress less authentic and more reactive. It's like trying to hit a moving target. Instead of staying true to your purpose, you bend and sway based on what other people want or expect. This drains your energy and steals your focus. Taking action consistently means you decide what matters and stick to it, even if others don't understand or agree. The digital age makes validation even more tempting. Social media feeds can make you feel like you need likes, comments, and shares to justify your efforts. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth by online attention. But this kind of validation is shallow and temporary. It doesn't build lasting confidence or real results. What builds lasting success is consistent work done in private, without public approval. Your efforts don't need an audience to be valuable. Consistency requires discipline and self-trust. It means committing to your work even when it feels boring, when progress feels invisible, and when nobody notices. These are the moments that define your future. They test your resolve and build your character. If you wait for validation, you'll miss these critical moments. Taking action consistently is a choice to be accountable to yourself first and foremost. Another part of this is learning to separate your worth from your results. Not every action will bring immediate success or recognition. Sometimes you'll do great work and see no reward. Sometimes the outcome won't match your effort. This can be discouraging, but it doesn't mean you should stop. Taking action consistently means showing up even when results are slow or disappointing. Your worth is in the effort, not the applause. Build routines that support consistent action. Set daily or weekly goals that focus on effort, not outcomes. For example, instead of waiting for others to praise your presentation, commit to practicing a little every day. Instead of waiting for recognition for your writing, promise yourself to write a page each morning. When your goals are tied to daily action, you control the pace of progress. This shifts your mindset from needing approval to taking responsibility. Consistency also builds momentum. Momentum is the force that carries you forward when motivation fades. It's what helps you get up on tough days, push through obstacles, and keep your eyes on the prize. Momentum is created by action, not validation. Each day you follow through, you build a little more momentum, which makes it easier to keep going. Without momentum, your progress is fragile and can be stopped by a single negative comment or a moment of doubt. Celebrate progress privately. Instead of waiting for external praise, learn to recognize your own wins. This could be as simple as noting a task completed or acknowledging that you stuck to your plan despite distractions. When you celebrate your own efforts, you reinforce the habit of self-validation. This keeps your motivation steady and builds resilience against external noise. Taking action consistently also means embracing failure as part of the process. When you act without seeking validation, you're free to make mistakes and learn from them. You don't freeze in fear of judgment because your worth isn't tied to approval. Mistakes become stepping stones rather than reasons to stop. This mindset accelerates growth and keeps you moving forward. It's important to remember that no one else will do the work for you. Waiting for validation can be a form of procrastination disguised as caution. It's an excuse to delay action until you feel ready or approved. The reality is that readiness comes through action, not before it. Every step forward builds confidence and skill. The more you act consistently, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable and worthy, regardless of outside opinions. You are responsible for your own progress. No one else owes you approval or support. Waiting for validation puts your future in someone else's hands. Taking consistent action puts it in your own. This shift in control is powerful. It frees you from the unpredictability of others' opinions and focuses your energy where it belongs, on your own work and growth. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, focus on building a track record of consistent action. This is what separates those who succeed from those who dream without progress. Success is earned in the quiet moments when no one is watching, not on the stage with applause. When you take action daily without needing validation, you build a foundation so strong that no external noise can shake it. Start by committing to small, achievable actions that you do every day. Make consistency your priority over perfection or approval. Over time, these actions add up, results follow, and your confidence grows from the inside out. You become the source of your own motivation. This internal drive is the fuel that powers unstoppable progress. In the end, the most important voice is the one inside you that says, "Keep going." Don't wait for anyone else to say it. Be your own biggest supporter. Show up for yourself every day. Take action consistently and watch how your life changes, step by step, with quiet power that no applause can match. Number 10. Trust silent hustle creates momentum others can't match. There's a hard truth many people don't like to face. Real progress rarely happens with loud announcements or flashy moves. Most folks want the quick win, the immediate attention, the instant praise. But the truth is, true momentum, the kind that carries you through tough times and sets you apart, is built quietly, one determined step after another. It's a slow grind, a daily effort done without fanfare or spotlight. That silent hustle, that behind-the-scenes work, is where your real power lies. It builds momentum that no one else can see at first, but it's unstoppable and lasts longer than any moment of hype. It's tempting to want recognition now, to broadcast every move hoping for validation. But that noise distracts from what matters. When you trust the silent hustle, you invest your energy in what you can control: your work, your habits, your growth, rather than the opinions or attention of others. This kind of focused effort creates a force that no external force can break. It is momentum born from discipline, from showing up when it's hard, from doing the work day after day, even when no one is watching. Most people who rely on quick validation give up when the spotlight fades or when immediate results don't appear. Their energy burns out fast because it depends on outside factors: likes, comments, applause that don't last. The silent hustler isn't looking for applause. They understand that real success takes time and patience. They build momentum like a snowball rolling downhill slow at first, but gathering power until it becomes unstoppable. This momentum carries them past the tough patches, the distractions, the doubts. Silent hustle requires belief in yourself when the world doesn't notice. It means choosing your actions based on your goals, not on who's watching. It's about having a clear vision and trusting the process, even when progress feels invisible. This trust fuels persistence. It gives you strength to keep going because you know every small effort adds up to something bigger, even if it's not obvious right now. When you hustle silently, you free yourself from comparison and distraction. You're not caught up in what others are doing or saying. Your focus sharpens because your energy is reserved for your own journey. This is a powerful advantage. While others are distracted by noise and opinions, you're building the foundation of your future. Momentum grows quietly but powerfully. It's like a force that grows stronger beneath the surface until it's too strong to ignore. This momentum changes everything. It creates confidence, skill, and results. It carries you through days when motivation is low or obstacles feel overwhelming. It makes consistency easier because you're no longer relying on motivation alone. You're riding the wave of your own progress, built by your silent hustle. The work you do in these quiet moments prepares you for the opportunities when they finally arrive. Silent hustle also teaches humility and patience. It reminds you that success is a journey, not a destination. It's about putting in the work regardless of immediate rewards or recognition. This mindset builds character and resilience. It prepares you not just to achieve your goals, but to handle success when it comes without losing yourself. Momentum from silent hustle is sustainable because it's built on real effort, not shortcuts or hype. People who trust silent hustle avoid burnout because their motivation comes from within, not from outside approval. They build habits that serve them daily, routines that reinforce their progress. This steady pace keeps them moving forward long term. It's a different kind of strength, one that doesn't rely on adrenaline or drama. It's calm, consistent, and deeply reliable. There's power in knowing that every unseen hour, every quiet effort, every sacrifice made without applause is creating momentum that can't be stopped. This momentum shapes your future in ways no public recognition can match. It prepares you to seize moments when they come, ready with skill, confidence, and a foundation built on hard work. Trusting silent hustle also means accepting that others may not understand your journey. You might face questions, doubts, or even criticism for keeping your progress quiet. That's part of the process. People often expect quick results or visible signs of success. When you don't give them that, they might question your effort or intentions. But their opinions don't define your reality. What matters is your commitment to the work and the trust you place in the process. Momentum built through silent hustle is more than just forward motion. It transforms you. It changes your mindset, your habits, your character. It teaches you discipline and perseverance. It shows you that greatness doesn't come from noise, but from quiet determination and relentless effort. This transformation is what ultimately leads to lasting success. As this momentum grows, your work will begin to speak louder than words ever could. Achievements will show up naturally. Doors will open, opportunities will arise, and recognition will follow. But it won't be the cause of your momentum, it will be the result. Your silent hustle will have built a foundation so strong that success becomes inevitable. This momentum is unique to you. No one else can create it for you, and no one else can take it away. It's a personal power developed by your own hands through daily effort, focus, and belief. It becomes a shield against discouragement and distraction. When others are swept away by noise and chaos, you will be steady and moving forward. You don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to broadcast every step to make progress. The quiet work you do today builds a future where your achievements will make the loudest statement possible. Momentum created by silent hustle is unstoppable because it's grounded in reality, hard work, and patience. Hold on to this truth. Trusting the silent hustle means trusting yourself and the process more than you trust fleeting attention or approval. It means committing to the work when it's tough, when it's boring, and when it's lonely. It means knowing that every step forward matters, even if no one else notices. This trust will carry you further than any quick spotlight ever could. Keep your head down, keep working, build your momentum quietly, and watch as your life changes in powerful ways that others can't replicate. This momentum will move you beyond where you ever thought possible, stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next.